What's up, everyone? Scott the TroutHammer here. So I am changing tackle for going back to the spot I went to last night, going off of what I observed, what I learned, and I was like, I probably should record this because I also want to explain why I'm switching to the stuff I'm switching to, show you guys what I'm going to switch to. Like I said, the vision I want to change for the channel, more of a mentorship style, more of like in the moment, situational. This is it. So like I said, the things I observed last night, how much algae was in that spot where all the bass were was insane. So I need super weedless stuff, and I need stuff that's going to be right on the top. I mean, like, does not go even like a centimeter below the surface of the water. Total top water type stuff. Weedless top water. So instead of just doing what I was doing and just taking stuff off and getting stuff ready, I'm actually going to show you guys what I'm going to do. And real quick, I'm going to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get this channel to grow to 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to do that. So if you could, please hit that subscribe button down there. Notify bell up there so you're going to be the first to see all the great content that's going to come from this channel. And I'm almost caught up with uploading my videos. So something I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start calling out the people that, or not calling out, shouting out the people that subscribe to the channel in the meantime from when I uploaded my last video. So if you want to hear that, definitely hit that subscribe button, get signed up. Yep, you saw me. There you go, guys. That's a fish. There you go, guys. That's unreal! Oh, this is such an awesome looking fish. Oh, yeah! Alright, guys, check that out. So something I should mention also why I'm switching the stuff I'm switching and why I want to go back to that spot today. I'm not going to spend as much time there as I did yesterday because, like I said, I learned a lot more. Should be able to hit it pretty hard, hammer it, come home. But today is a pre-frontal day. We've got some storm systems coming in for over the weekend. They're calling for like below 60-degree weather in June here in Oregon. I'm getting tired of this. We have not even gotten close to summer yet. I know the calendar doesn't say summer, but here in Oregon, our summers usually start of June. But anyway, so prefrontal conditions, we got about like I think it was like a 60% moon, so it's right in the middle, shouldn't affect the bite too much. But on those prefrontal days, the bass are going to be feeding up as much as they can because those storms really messes with their feeding patterns. Gotta get this stuff moved out of the way before I start working some. I'm actually changing the colors of some of my blades on my spinners. I'm going to paint some of my blades black, paint some white. Even for the black ones, yeah, that's white, but you actually want to start with 1 or 2 coats of white paint before you put black paint on. And I'm finding out the hard way that regular paint thinner doesn't dissolve vinyl-based paint. Well, you need to get some full-blown turpentine. And I was changing out hooks on Bill Lewis lures, so get these out of the way, hopefully without stabbing myself. Yeah, there's jigs and stuff I'm working on painting, so don't need this out right now. Definitely need this top water. Alright, so like I said, need to be as weedless as bees. So whopper plopper, not gonna cut it. Not with these treble hooks. And since I got this side open, get one of these guys out since I'm gonna use one. Alright, so I want to rig up a frog, but what my assumption was correct, is that the bass are eating the fish right now. So I'm going to rig up, I think I'm going to go with the bigger profile, sort of like a walking frog, but it's a fish, so it mimics an injured fish on the surface. You fish it exactly the same way you do a walking frog, but I am going to bring my frogs just in case. Like I said, gave us a clue. So when you're fishing topwater, you want to use a line that floats, and you want something that's going to stay on the surface. So you want heavy braid or mono. This is 65-pound braid. I think this might be a little too big for what I'm going to do today. Little too thick a line, might be a little too visible. So I'm going to put some 20-pound mono on as a leader. And I'm just going to do a double uni knot to attach the leader to the braid. I'm only going 4 times around with these uni knots. 65-pound braid, 20-pound mono. Don't really need a lot of loops to secure the knot. Yeah, see, 4 each, that's plenty. Then clinch knot, lure to the leader. Alright, so the rod I'm going to fish this on is my flipping and pitching rod. And the biggest reason is when you're fishing a lure like this, anything that's sort of like a frog lure with those hooks like that, you want something that's got a lot of backbone. So this is my strongest casting rod. It's got a fast tip. It's exactly the thing you want to use for a frog-style lure. Leave on that rod, it's set up. Now, last time I went out, I was not as prepared as I thought I was going to be. I went with, you know, stuff that was going to be subsurface and stuff that was going to be middle to lower the water column too. So I don't want to take just top water this time. I don't want to completely flip the pendulum in the other way. I want to bring something. I want to bring some stuff that I could still fish somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to rig up not a chatterbait, but a true weedless swim jig. So this is a swim jig that has a free swinging 3/0 weedless hook on it. I'm going to rig a swim bait on that. So that's going to get on it a 5-inch Rage Swimmer. So this is a green pumpkin watermelon flake Rage Swimmer, but I want to modify this a little bit. I'm going to take that chartreuse lure marker. I want the back of this tail to be chartreuse. And give it a little chartreuse stripe on the belly. So by the time I'm done, that's how it's going to look. I know there's chartreuse in the skirt, but that chartreuse tail, it sort of gives a presentation that the fish is about to die. A lot of times, bluegill, even bass, they get that chartreuse color in their tail. I know especially shad do. It's one of the reasons why this is going to be so good on the top water. That's just something a little bit extra, something that I can bring through those weed lines. There's a lot of hydrilla in the area I'm going to fish, but I mean, that should get through the algae just fine, especially with that really pointy head on the jig. And so I'm bringing these two with me. Set these aside, leave it up, good to go. Don't need the shaky head anymore, and don't need the leader anymore on the spinning rod, and I'm about to explain why. So this one, the poppin' shad, I'm going to rig this up directly onto the braid. This is a 20-pound braid, so it's going to still float, and it's still going to be small enough that it's going to be just fine, but I've used these things for a while now. These things have run a lot better for me on a spinning rod than on a casting rod, so I'm going to run this on the 7-foot casting rod. I'm going to run this guy on a 5/0 EWG trocar hook. Yeah, these things will float a hook that big. So one thing I do with these popping shads is I don't rig these things up on an EWG hook like you would any other like normal worm or swim bait. So you see that trench that's on the bottom? I bring the tip of the hook all the way down into that, so this whole bend in the hook and the knot are going to be completely buried into the bait. So you see where the bend of the hook starts right under the chin of that poppin' shad? That brings the hook further back toward the tail, and I just find I get hooked up a lot more if I rig it up this way. It still pops just fine, but I mean you also get a lot cleaner of a pop because you're getting through the mouth of that poppin' shad, just the line, not the hook also. So yeah, see with that trench they have on top too, this thing stays weedless on top, and you get plenty of that hook that can expose when you go to set the hook on a fish. And again, sleeve that rod up, rod number 3 set. Rod number 3, the 7-foot medium spinning rod, I'm going to leave that rigged up just how it was when I left the lake last night. Just changed out the color of the Senko I'm going to use. I'm going to use a baby bass colored Senko, and got that point of the hook buried in there because there's just so much gunk in that spot. I don't want anything coming up with this. Yeah, from what I saw, that Senko is the only thing I'm going to bring besides that jig that isn't going to be topwater related. So that means tonight we are bringing plastic worms, rage tails, because frankly I trust these plastics too much not to bring them. Plastic swimmers, jigs and blades. No, these are going to stay home. Pretty much the only jig I need is that weedless swim jig. Do I want to bring my swim baits again? The only one I have that's truly weedless is the live target threadfin shad. Nah, they'll stay home. Need my jigs. Jig fisherman. And then topwater. So I'm going to set the dragonfly back in because pretty sure going to use that tonight. And again, like I said when I talked about this tackle backpack, so you can see my tackle section in the bottom is all full, but that big pouch on the top fits my topwater box just nicely. Alright guys, getting pumped up. This is something you got to do when you go fishing. You got to go into it with a positive mental attitude, mind clear, focused on a goal, focused on a plan of attack, then go kill it. So I'm going to do just a few more things around here before I head out in the water, and the next time you see me, it'll be in the same spot, much more prepared. I just had an idea, something to talk about as I'm heading toward the spot I want to fish, is trying new places on a lake. So this is Waverly Lake, and I call this place my old stomping ground because it really is. I fish this lake so much that I know every rock, every branch, every piece of brush in this lake. I know every ounce of water in this lake. I know where everything is, every square inch of bank. You know, it's also a short drive from where I live, so it's real easy for me to fish, especially staying close to home with Sophia being born. That duck there should be a clue to where I am. But this is a very popular lake. I mean, it's so popular that there are professional carp anglers that come from out of the country to fish this lake. So, you know, with this being a really popular lake, there's not a lot of bank access. It can be really crowded at times, especially after they stock it with trout. But a funny thing keeps happening at this lake. Every time I come here, I see the same people fishing the same spot, same time of day, using the same stuff, and I so rarely see them catch a fish. Don't be afraid to try a new spot. Go to a spot you haven't fished before. Use something you haven't used before in that spot before you go to your honey hole. I mean, I know this lake so much, I know where every good spot is. I'm not going to tell you. You know, if you come fish with me, I'll take you there. You know, there's a lot of places on this lake I haven't shown me fish yet. But the advice is really just that. Just experiment, branch out, try a new spot on a lake before you go to your usual hole. You'd be surprised what you catch. You know, when I was younger and came here, I'd always go to that first spot right by the parking lot. We call that community corner. I'd always go to that first spot. Good panfish spot. Every once in a while you'll catch a bass out of there. But then I started learning where the other fish are in this lake. And I wouldn't have learned that had I not had a couple times where I go there and I just want to go to the same spot and there's people fishing it. But I definitely recommend don't leave it up to circumstance for you to try a new spot. You know, like this spot right here is a really popular spot because it's a really effective spot. But, you know, there's people fishing on that bank over there right now. Usually I'm the only person I see fishing over there. And that's the transition lane for the bass when they're getting ready to spawn. And after the spawn, they use that bank as a transition point. But so many people don't even bother fishing it because it's not easy to get to. And you'll find out that bass know that too. Bass come to know the places that people don't fish, and that's where they decide to hang out because they're not going to be pressured, they're not going to get caught, they're not going to be disturbed. And that's why when I go bass fishing, a lot of times I start over on this end. But I mean, bottom line, you're really not doing yourself any favors if you just keep going to the same spot day in, day out, using the same stuff. You know, fishing is a hobby, but I mean, it's meant to be an art. It's meant to be something that requires skill, knowledge, and that's what I'm trying to offer on this channel too. You know, if you just keep doing the same thing day in, day out, you know, you're leaving it up to chance for success. I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of chance. Well, back to the same spot now. I just went through a whole seminar saying don't do this, but this was the plan of attack. I wanted to come here yesterday, wanted to fish certain stuff, saw the conditions after I got here, wasn't prepared for it, now I'm prepared. But also I'm here earlier so I can see with the sun where the hydrilla ends and where the algae begins, so that's just a lot more helpful already. I'm not here much earlier than I was yesterday. Yesterday I got here about 5 p.m. It's 4:30 right now. The bass's feeding schedule actually sort of ticks further forward as the days go on. So like where one day they'd be feeding at like 7 p.m. the next day they'd start feeding at like 7:45, something around like that. All right, let's get you guys mounted up for the ride. Come to my bosom. All right, I already saw one swirl, 2 swirls over there now. So I'm gonna start with the popping fish over in that direction. You guys can see I started getting some rod socks for my rods. I should have got these years ago, and now I'm definitely gonna recommend you guys get them also because, you know, I got tired of having to twist my line around my guides, around the rod, so that my rods wouldn't tangle up as I go from one spot to another. This just makes it so much easier, and it doesn't damage the line going around your guides. And I actually had a guide break on one of my spinning rods, so pretty sure I got the tension right to begin with. Yes, I do. Okay, something's already moving toward it. Yeah, this is something I can also run directly over these algae mats, because there'll be bass hiding in those algae piles. There we go. Actually, you know what? It might seem kind of early, 2 casts in, switching presentations, but I did not fish a Senko in this area last night, so I'm going to switch to the Senko and sort of get a feel for what the area is like, actually. Okay, I was wondering if there was any food in this area, and now I see a big old sunfish right there. Good sign. So I know I've said this before in previous videos, but one of the best things you can do when you're fishing a Senko is first cast, just let it sit or when you make your cast, let it go all the way to the bottom. A lot of times those big females, they're sitting there and they're already looking up, and they see that big Senko just slowly flutter its way down, sits on the bottom right in front of them, let it sit for a couple seconds, then start going through your cadence. A lot of times that first slow fall is what triggers the bass into striking. Alright, so a bunch of bait fish are blowing up on the surface over here, so something's over there about to feed. Let's get that bigger meal over there. Give him a look at it. Oh, it must have moved off. So when I pop it through some of those big algae clusters and I see I'm in a clearing, I let it fall through the clearing because a lot of times you're going to find a bass hiding in that little clear spot. Like I said. Poor bumblebee. Didn't know what it just flew into. You know, I'm actually seeing more activity over there than I am here, so I'm going to go there. Okay, yeah. I see a couple big fish stacked up right there. Actually, those are carp. Yeah, those are some big bull carp sunning themselves. Well, let's see what's around the structure. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see them real well, but that one right there, that's about a 25, 30-pound carp. Yeah, let's just switch this to a frog. Let's go back over to the first spot I was at, now that we've taken some pressure off it. Wow, you see all those minnows? They're freaking out on the surface with my lure right underneath them. That's one of the easiest ways to tell if there's a predator in the area, something like a bass. When you see all those little minnows blowing up on the surface, it just looks like the water's boiling. And they see the larger predator fish underneath them, and they try to get away. All right, I concede to the spot. The algae has run me off. But let's not waste a fishing trip, because I don't know how many of these I'm going to get as often as I used to. So, to the bridge. Yeah, it might be that it's a little more breezy than it was yesterday, but I'm seeing nowhere near the amount of bass activity tonight that was last night. That's something I did not do last night, and I don't know why I didn't do this last night. I was fish the spot with an ultralight. At least I'm not going to go a day without catching a fish. There we go. Finally. Yes, sunfish. Not what I came here to catch, but I'll take it. Because you are the first fish I've caught in weeks. So thank you. Okay, feel a little better. Feel like I can move on. Yeah, guys, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your you-know-whats, but I'm just not as much a bass fisherman as I am a pan fisherman, and I'm not even as much a pan fisherman as much as I am a river fisherman. You know, it really has only been recently that I've been sticking to ponds and lakes a lot more, mostly because I'm trying to learn them, especially because Oregon is so different. I know enough for bass fishing, it just doesn't help that we're not really known as a bass state, and if you want to consistently catch bass, you got to go to places where I don't have the equipment or the access to go to. Doing what I can with what I got. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we come up to this part of the bank, we see the wild Steve in his native environment.
Today was just a hard day to get motivated to do anything. So.
It's been a hard day to fish.
Yeah, I got my biggest bass of the year last night.
Oh, what was it?
About 1.25 pounds.
Oh. But you know, for Waverly, that's above average. That's far above average.
Well, for me, that's not a very good sign.
No.
We're into June.
Oh, yeah, it's... And then with the weather we're going to have over the weekend. Frickin' summer. Come on. I'm going to go fish a spot I hate. Yeah, guys, I am starting to think there are just multiple compounding issues as to why the fish aren't doing anything. I mean, if you can't see to the bottom over in this corner, something's wrong with your water. You know, long-time viewers, you should know why this is strange. This isn't catching fish. Let me know in the comments below what I should be doing different, because I know I'm doing everything right. I've got color, I've got sound, I've got scent, all appropriate for watercolor and the time of day and the time of year. Just nothing is happening. You know, today's the pre-frontal day. The low pressure system doesn't come ashore until tomorrow evening, so there isn't an issue with the barometric pressure. I don't know, just are the sunfish spawning super late? Normally this is their pre-spawn. Yeah, I just had a sunfish come up to my lure, look at it, and then go. Did not care. Well, you were hiding in the rocks. Speaking of rocks, this day of fishing is starting to feel like I'm trying to wring water from one. It's so weird how different the 2 days were. Yesterday I was seeing tons of activity. Today I'm seeing none. Even the panfish aren't biting. I can't tell you how slow this is compared to normal. You know, I'm actually starting to think also, I haven't seen a crappie in this lake all year. That's nuts. It's usually a reliable crappie fishing location. Okay, now I just want to catch something. Anything. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the smallest hook I own. Size 10 bait holder. And that is a single piece of desperation I've attached to it. What should I call this video, guys? How to catch the smallest fish in your pond? Oh, this should be a lot funner than it is. Oh. That was one of the darker bluegill I've ever caught. Yeah. Okay. It's about a 3-pound bass that just appeared right in front of me. Are you a late spawner? Because you're acting like a bedfish. You guys know that positive mental attitude I talk about? It's getting drugged through the mud right now. But you know what would help that positive mental attitude right now? Catching a nice pre-spawn bluegill. And that's what this feels like. Yep. Nice pre-spawn bluegill. Nice tank. Yeah, that feels better. You want to do just one more. Yeah, not quite as big as the last one. About the same size. Okay, 2 nice big pre-spawn bluegill. And I'm starting to feel better. Blunk. And I think I'm done fishing for tonight. I mean, it's not too late. Still got some stuff I want to do at home before it gets dark, but hey, no walk of shame today. And this is why I panfish. This is why I always bring an ultralight with me, so I don't go home feeling defeated like I haven't caught anything. You know, in Oregon, we have such tight windows of opportunity to catch bass, and if you don't have a boat, if you're a bank fisherman, it's even more difficult. You know, this time though, as I'm coming home offloading all my stuff, kind of reminding myself of something. You know, I don't want to be a fisherman that only shows success. I want to show you how, you know, much of a struggle Oregon fishing really is, especially bass fishing. You know, what you've seen the last couple of days has been the way it is for this channel, mostly, for me as a fisherman. And forgot to get turpentine when I went down. You know, I actually am working on a video that I've been putting a lot of time and research into. I'm going to start working on it probably tonight. So you guys are going to see that video here in a few days. But it just tries to fully explain Oregon fishing and just how rough things really are. You know, not just for bass fishing, but for bank fishing primarily. Because I remember at one point, checking the rec report, I saw that only like 1900 salmon came over the falls, and at the point, like 1,200 had been caught by boat. And it's really just how it goes. Oh, someone's awake. Hi, sweet honey. You don't look happy that you just woke up.
She's not. Not really. I don't know.
Said I was all cuddly and sleepy, and it was great. Oh, she's got both our fingers. No. I got 2 fingers? What do they do? You gonna say hi to the viewers? You gonna say hi to the audience? Hi, fans of Daddy's channel. Aww. You guys are matching in pink.
Yep.
Sorry to say, I'm not gonna wear pink.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Look at these little feetsies.
Aww. You got the cutest feet.
Those toes seem large, but I guess, I don't know.
Where did you get such big feet?
The toes look especially not proportioned.
Mom and Dad have small feet. Oh, sweetheart. I don't know this thing you're showing me. I don't know what that is.
She's 7 days old today.
Uh-huh. And I'm now a week old.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a smile.
You gonna smile for Daddy? Oh, honey, I love you.
She's like, I don't know what we're doing here or why, but okay.
Oh, and I'm just so tired. What were those hiccups? What are those hiccups about? Where do those hiccups come from? What do you want, cat? Are you smelling the audience?
And with that, I think I'm going to end this video. I'm pooped. I'm going to try to work on that other video I was talking about. But yeah, like I said from the last one, looking back on that trip, I don't know what was going wrong with the fishing. You know, and even the panfish aren't biting on just, you know, a single crappie nibble. The water was unseasonably dirty and unseasonably algae filled. And when you guys hear me talk about frustration fishing, that was it. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. And again, if you're a new viewer, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get this channel to grow to 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to do that. So if you could, please hit that subscription button down there, notify bell up there, so you're going to be the first to see all the great content that's going to come from this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, tips up, tight lines, and have fun fishing.